Okay, now I'm excited, and let me explain why. Here I have that Bedrock little test window that we were talking about earlier. I'm inside of the Apple Vision Pro simulator, probably in a weird spot. That's why it's showing like an odd background. But yeah, here I'm inside the simulator, and let's go into maybe the kitchen, make it better. And now I'm into my screenshots and photos, and let me just grab one. What breed of dog is this? And you'll notice that the JSON that's returned says it's a Rottweiler puppy. You imagine if you're wearing the Vision Pro and you take a portrait, video, whatever you want, and now you have the ability to use a generative AI model to tell you what that thing is and give you exactly the kind of information that you're looking for from this particular picture. Let's take another example. I'm a pilot, so I love kind of complex cockpits. What is this a picture of? And again, I still haven't put that preview progress view screen. Cockpit is filled with numerous instruments, displays, controls. And let me see if I can ask an even more specific question about this. Let's zoom way in so you can see that it has, this is a EFIS or actually this is an MFD, which is a flight display. So let's ask a question. What kind of flight display does this have? Flight deck, modern commercial airline, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's not as specific, but then we would take this or even a question like this and then create a function to go off and find the exact information we're looking for based on the nuanced case and even create a bounding box around the area that we're focusing on. Let's do another one. What is this a diagram of? And again, that progress view, man, I should do that. Takes about 10 seconds. You can see here it says electrical wiring diagram, various electrical components. Yeah, and it could we can probably get more detailed into all of this. Let's do another one. This is an interesting one. What is happening in this picture? Let's see what we get here. Ah, an industrial power plant, several robotic arms. Robotic arms are colored shades of green, mounted on legs actually, but we'll let that go. Suggesting grippers or end effectors. Okay, it's doing all right. Do another one. Don't need that warning. Thank you. My car. What kind of car is this? Now I've noticed that it doesn't really want to go into manufacturing SKUs, but here it says Tesla Model 3, which is wrong. It's a Model S, but we will let that go because it got really close. Let's see if I can fix the screen here. We're like looking a little wonky. I'm not using my trackpad, so that might make things a little bit difficult. Iconic style, very good. a few more. This is fun. Now imagine walking around in your device, and at the very end, I'm going to show me walking around inside my device. Let's see if it notices a person. Is there a celebrity in this photo? Tim Cook, CEO of Apple. Wow, that's cool. Um, I'm having fun. Let's just keep going. How many dogs are in this photo, and what are their breeds? Now that's asking a lot. Identify a terrier, 10 dogs. Holy moly. Almost swear it on YouTube. Okay, let's, hard to scroll without my trackpad, but that's okay. We'll scroll down once and see what happens here. Let's see if it can do a math equation. Solve this calculus problem. It's thinking. Partial fraction decomposition. Well, I don't know if this is correct. It's been a long time since my calculus days. But I'm going to take its word for it, just like any other reasonable person would do looking at a generative model. Just assume it's right. Probably not. That's probably how the end of the world's going to happen. Anyway, we did the dog one already. Let's try another one. Let's do, again, hard to really scroll. Super difficult to scroll. Not letting me scroll at all with the mouse. Nope. Okay, well, we'll call that good. Oh, let's do a flower since we're already here. What kind of flower is this? Distinctive flat leaves. Pink lotus flower? I don't know. I had no idea about my flowers. So if you know, leave a comment in the comments. That way I know you're there and you still made it to this point in the video. And we'll stop here. But I did want to point out that this is using the Claude 3 model, and without changing almost anything, I could go back and say not have an image and ask other questions of the same model and have it do chat completions and other kinds of activity. Let me just stop this real quick. Just show I'm running Anthropic Claude. Nothing crazy. It's running on Amazon Bedrock. Easiest way to deploy, and you just pass your keys. And I haven't done anything super secret here. This is just a standard, just looking at the definition of the model and figuring out what it needed to return, which was eloquently placed there for me. So there's an example input and output. I'll show that. Just grab some photos from here, but you can see here this is an example input in shell script curl, and here's an example output, which is in this particular case, showing what might be in the model. All kinds of other stuff that you can do here with Claude. You can hear meet Claude there, and then once you start to get familiar, then there's other things you can do here. They also have a tutorial on how to use Bedrock in their context. So this is how you would use Bedrock straight from Claude context, but you can also use Bedrock in the other direction where you start it with Bedrock and then you're just invoking the Claude model. This is how you would do it, and Python and Boto 3 and TypeScript have been given for you. And then obviously you saw earlier the curl commands. If you go to capabilities, you'll see on the left, there's text generation, vision embeddings. I haven't tried Google Sheets add-ons yet, but the next thing I'm going to work with is functions, because obviously you can see how this could go. I can create a bunch of functions, and one could be to you know, call the vision model when I needed to. So this is really, really cool. And what this means is I can take pictures, I can take screenshots. In the context of my apps that I create, I can actually just investigate the windows that are available on my screen, and then I can do things like, you know, create little bounding box areas where maybe pinch areas where I create like a box or a circle around some content. There is one more I wanted to try since we're sitting here. It is this last one. We'll grab, if we can scroll, let's grab these characters. What does this say? Again, I have no idea what this says, so please don't ding me if you know and it says something terrible. I just grabbed the first thing I saw. Cannot provide specific translations. Privacy, likely form. Okay. Well, we tried, but tried to solve the math equation, so I wonder why it's not trying to answer here, but that's okay. We'll accept that this, for this particular reason, and the fact that it returned to me that it is, you know, probably some writing or calligraphy. Now I can use another model that's, you know, tailor-made for this kind of duty, which is to figure out what that is, what kind of character that is. But certainly, in some languages, I should be able to pull, you know, what writing is there in the language. Maybe let's try this one again. What does this say? Identifying and realizing specific names or information that we mentioned, blah, 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 blah. Several text annotations. Oh, well, I don't know why it's having a problem with that. But anyway, we'll just assume that, you know, something like this is something we can add in as a function or try another model that might be able to identify this. I did try this with Lava. At some point, it was able to read the text. And the fact that this one was able to do math, I'm a little it was really interesting that it doesn't want to read text, but that's okay. We'll just let that go. Well, anyway, thanks, and we'll keep going. So here I'm outside, and I'm looking at the various trees and berries and things that are outside of my home. And I've just taken a screenshot, or actually just a photo of the tree that's in my background. You won't be able to read the text here; it's a little far away. There's some berries on the tree. I think they're something like persimmons or something like that. I asked another model what they were, and it came back and told me you shouldn't eat these. Because I asked, you know, can I eat this? And it says no. Basically, don't eat that. It's silly. And so I should definitely not eat this. Then moving on. Again, I'm outside, so I'm able to either use the keyboard or I'm using my microphone in this particular case. And at some point, I'll make a full-featured UI in my spare time, maybe at night, and you know, I'll let everyone use this. I'll unfortunately have to charge for it because you know, hosting a large language model isn't cheap. Anyhow, but I'll make it a bare minimum cost as much as I'm paying. So I'm not trying to make a lot of any money off of this. I think this is just great for the community. So here's another one. It's like, this is an electrical box, and it's got a electrical counter, and it's telling me all the information about the counter. And if I want from that point, you know, now I can search using you know, catalog-based search like Google, I can go off and say, okay, what kind of box is this? And then even more, maybe the instructions for installation of the box or troubleshooting. I can bring back that to the screen. Here again is another one. I'm just going to ask, what kind of tree this is. So I've taken a picture of the tree, and this is happening super fast. Like the response is ridiculously fast for this being a cloud-based model that's somewhere out there. Again, I'm using Amazon Bedrock, and you can go to the page to ask more information about that. But here I'm, just walking around the back of my house, almost breaking my neck, walking around because I was so fascinated by, I'm like, what can I look at next? And I get to the side of my house, and I'm just like, well, what color is the house? Maybe that might be a good question to ask. And you could even use if you can connect a web camera to this whole environment, maybe like a little tiny camera, then now I don't even need to go back to my photos to get my answers. But here it is, it's telling me like it's a light beige and a gray top, and it's hard to read the words that are coming back, but I can see them clearly. I'm really, really, not trying to make you all dizzy by doing this. And now I've pinned the camera, the window to me, so it's going to follow me along. And we get to the final question I'm asking, and here I'm gonna just ask him, what if this is an American flag? See how fast this is, even with having to take a picture, and going back to the video, the images, it's still reasonably fast. And there it goes, American flag. So amazed, I'm excited. Hope you all excited with me. And as usual, like and subscribe.